Yesterday, we could already see that it will be warm today. That means, again, new searching at Copper Lake. Which spot can now really work again? Where does it run best now at Copper Lake? Well, and of course, I'm testing the whole time, different flavors, different spots, different kinds of rigs. So the last hour I have been at different spots and was here mainly with the classic hair rig. Now though, again at a classic spot with the pop-up rig 3, respectively already showing the fourth different flavor now here in the test. And it actually seems here at this spot to work somewhat. On the chart you can see that it was difficult here. There were from time to time fish, but now just here, the last 6 minutes, damn, one fish after another. That is already really nice. Barbel also included. Quite classic, of course, also on a spice combination. That works again and again here with the barbel. Now the question for me is, of course, what else comes in? Well, just catching mirror carp and common carp is not really so interesting. Those I can also fish at Bear Lake or at Amber Lake. For that, I do not need to come here to the quarry water, and accordingly I keep testing different flavors. Oh, how that one is of course really small. Just tested here now on banana. First fish, tiny small. Then let us see what happens here next. That already seems to run quite well the whole time, though rather on normal carp species, so common carp and mirror carp right now here with the caramel combination. And the third setup is, like just shown at the barbel, still on spice. Those are simply flavors that keep working well the whole time. Here spice also just started directly again, and also strawberry I just had already in the test. Maybe I will take blackcurrant along as well. That always works quite well too. And then maybe we take out the caramel combination, because constantly catching the normal fish here is not really so nice. This now is already clearly better. Dinkelsbühler mirror carp? Then that is of course worth it also here in happy hour. So that's of course not bad. I gladly take that one also here, completely on spice. I'm standing here just on 10 meters clipped. 10 meters? And again, for testing the neutral ground bait mix, the one I have already shown in all the other last courses. So that is definitely worth it. Because you can continuously just change between strawberry, banana, spice, salmon. You can here test nicely one bait after another, one boilie flavor after another. That of course is fun, and so you have much more the possibility to find out what are the fish actually into right now. And for that, such a neutral ground bait mix is also extremely important, so that one can first test it at all. The neutral ground bait mix I have of course saved. One can save different mixes. And here is then basically the neutral original carp ground bait mix. So it is like the normal carp ground bait mix, only with the components that the mixed food is inside, which spreads the attraction much wider, but does not have such a strong attraction. And then also nut and rice inside. Probably one could vary that a little more. Nevertheless, it works with this combination quite well. I can also imagine putting in chopped worms, or also something like mussel. But in this combination, I have nicely different components. Whether really the colors also have influence, whether those are really different kinds of food. So with the maggots, rather a protein component, with corn, rather carbohydrates, and with the nut mix, maybe rather a fat component. So that you then can also see through the colors that these are different families of food. Whether that is really so, I cannot say. It almost looks like that. You can always see it again with the different types. There are also many more different basic mixes or basic components. And for me, it just looks like if you have nicely different colors inside so that you address different ranges, then you can just cover even more in such a mix. So cover more flavors or nutrients in such a ground bait mix. And here it goes directly on. Yes, very good. So spice is running. I would at the moment say that spice is in front simply because of the type of fish. Also here, of course, now on spice, the simple common carp. Nevertheless, barbel was included, and the Dinkelsbühler was also included. That is, of course, not bad. Here again on caramel. If that becomes again normal, yes, then I change caramel again. Just pop-up rig, just classic rig here. and then we change something again. And I think I also take here again blackcurrant 15. The whole thing also with blackcurrant in purple plus the blackcurrant dip. And because it is, as said, the same ground bait, I can just continue here without worrying that the spot suddenly gets overlaid by a different mix. So combining different ground bait mixes at one spot is not a good idea. Better to have one neutral mix and then test different baits. Yes, the spot where I'm down here is of course also a classic. So the spot here down should actually be known. You must know it for koi fishing, because here it works again and again quite well on different distances. I am now just 10 meters far, so in this area here, we know 25 times 25 is such a box. That means up to here we are about at 12 meters, and I'm just here at the edge. That means I'm now here in this edge area about with 10-meter clip. That fits quite well. Another possibility that also works again and again, mostly at normal water temperature, is on 30 meters up here in the area. Also that works again and again, but here now, as said, with 10 meters, I'm quite satisfied. And bang, it goes on directly. Also again on strawberry, but I suspect that it is here at the moment, mainly the normal fish. Also here I change it again. Here we just try cherry in combination with spice. I also have spice aroma in red. So here comes the red spice aroma and then the wild cherry. So nicely one test after another, you see? Here blackcurrant already starts. That is what makes fun, and that is what makes testing spots fun, and finding out what works here, what could work. So that is fun, when you then with such a neutral ground bait mix at different spots, catch different fish. If it stays like this, I'm still looking for the Dinkelsbühler here as trophy. If it stays like this, that it goes here on blackcurrant, then I rebuild the ground bait mix. Then maybe I take a corn base or a rye base, then shredded blackcurrant boilies also into the mix, then also a bit larger baits. And try here with the blackcurrant at this spot to catch larger Dinkelsbühler mirror carp. That would be really nice. Yes, so much to that, so much to the testing. Off to the water. You can see quite well now here the difference. In these 16 minutes here at the spot, it worked really well. 14 fish here in the test. So I'm already quite satisfied. And different flavors work. That is the most important. But one must really search. And I was immediately on the way when the weather switched from normal to warm. Yesterday it was still cold. And now of course I'm curious, how long will it stay so? So now of course again fishing warm water in the deeper areas. And then looking, where are the fish now standing in the deep area? And especially which species we now catch here. Next bite here on blackcurrant. Yes, that looks good. It seems as if the blackcurrant flavor here lures the mirror carp, the Dinkelsbühler. And I gladly take that. So continue, keep testing. I will rebuild my ground bait mix now. And then I hope that I catch here now completely on blackcurrant, the Dinkelsbühler. So much for the test. Leave a thumb up if it helped you. Subscribing to the channel helps me a lot. And then we see us in the next video. Until then, tight lines.